Hello, my name is Jillian Firth. It's the first time recording a video. I live in a teeny tiny little town in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada. That's Joe. He's a really nice guy. We call him Doc. He's a doctor of emissions from vehicles. Anyway, this is our town. If you recognize it, I'd be shocked. Because it's in the middle of nowhere, sorta. We love it. Anyway, here right now, good timing, getting in our car. My husband Paul.
Hello.
We're right now heading to the big city because Mr. Paul has a doctor's appointment again. Making this video for three major things and one relatively minor fun thing. Thing one is my husband, same guy here, don't have more than one, was diagnosed stage 4 cancer 8 years ago, just about this time. And he's been fighting the good fight ever since.
That's right.
And it's not been easy, it's not been fun. He's on some pretty toxic medications that destroyed his heart. So he's also a VAD patient, and that's who we're going to go see today, is our VAD clinic. They're amazing people who saved his life, which I'm very grateful for. And a VAD, if you don't know what it is, it's a ventricular assist device. In his case, he has an LVAD, which is a left ventricular assist device. And he had that put in a year ago, January 5th. So he's a fighter. He is a fighter. He is my personal hero. He amazes me every single day. So, like I said, that's a major thing. So we'll be keeping you guys posted on our adventures with cancer and heart disease. So fun. Thing two is we've sold our house that we raised our kids in. We have 3 kids that we adopted when they were little. 2, 3, and 5, something like that. 2, 4, and 5. Anyway, they're all grown now, for better or for worse. And we sold the house we raised our kids in, and we are building another house. When we get back home, I'll do some recording on our property. We are building a much smaller house just for Paul and I, so the kids can't move back home. Just kidding. You can see what a beautiful area we live in. We absolutely love it here. I just retired. I was town librarian for a number of years. And my husband is a school teacher, also retired, taught locally many years. And so in a little bitty town in the foothills like this, we were extremely fortunate to have a couple of good jobs, because they're hard to come by, for sure. It's a pretty poor area. So that's adventure number 1. We're building a new house. Adventure number 2 is we are starting another nonprofit. Paul and I have been part of 2 already. We started a nonprofit called Birthday Buddies 10 years ago. Provides a birthday in a bag for children from low-income families. Turn it around for a minute. Oops, you got a nice shot of my hand. And we've probably got 160 kids signed up right now. It's a pretty cool thing. Started with $500, but 10 years later, this community has supported it beautifully, absolutely beautifully. I love this area. Kids get a couple, 3 presents, books, art supplies. Oh, I just said that. And stuffed animal, and the parents get a cake mix and icing, baking pan, candles, party decorations, pretty much everything they need to put together a birthday for their child. And, like I said, it was rough going at the start, which I understood, because people don't know if you're for real. But 10 years later, it's been amazingly supported, almost virtually locally. So that's a beautiful thing. Also, Paul, Mr. Paul,
Hi.
again, was very pivotal in, I know you're tired of looking at me, so you can look at our beautiful place where we live. We actually live about 15 miles from here, further up in the foothills, up country. But anyway, Paul was real pivotal in starting our local radio station, KFOK, in that he was on the initial board. He's been doing a show for
15 years.
15 years. That's pretty amazing. And I hopefully in the very near future will start doing my own show now that I'm retired. I have a little more time for that. Also, and this is the very exciting thing, I think, is we are starting a new nonprofit called Paul's Kitchen. We're going to form another nonprofit, 501c3, so it's tax deductible. And we are going to get a food truck and start serving people food. So the way it works, it's a pay what you can, sliding scale kind of thing, suggested donation. And our focus initially, I think, is going to be on paninis, which nobody serves up here. We only have a few restaurants, you know, Mexican and Chinese and pizza. That's what we got. So, and we'll do salads and soups and breads and that sort of thing. So we're real excited about this. We have a number of people on board with us already. So we will keep you posted as that develops. And finally, kind of the fun little thing is, the other day, we counted all the change in Paul's change jar, which he's been doing since I've known him, which is 30 years. 30 years. We old, particularly him.
Wasn't 30 years worth of change, though.
No, it was not 30 years worth of change. It was about 2 years worth of change this time. And it turned out to be almost $200. So we bought a metal detector. We've become quite addicted to watching Aqua Chigger. And I grew up in Texas, so I'm all too familiar with what chiggers are. Nasty little suckers. Oh, but he's not. I'm not saying that. He seems like a really nice guy and very informative. And we got inspired and thought, hey, that would be something we could do. Be outdoors. It's winter here right now. So it's very wet, which is good. And make a good time, I think, once it clears up a little bit, to be out there with our brand new metal detector and see what we can scrounge up. So paid for with found money, sort of, the change out of our pockets. And I'll pick up any coin I see, even a penny, because I was born in the 50s. A penny was worth more back then. Anyway, so that's our little intro. I have no idea. Well, I do. I have posted a few videos to YouTube. So here we are moving into another little bitty town in the foothills. But I really don't know a whole lot about how to do this, but I have a fancy new phone and a fancy new iPad, so I'm sure between the two I can figure it out. So very nice to meet all of you. Anyone who is interested in watching this and watching our adventures that should unfold over the next year, I think it will be interesting. Here's the downtown area of another little bitty town. So scenic Garden Valley. That's right. Hardware store. Been there many, many, many times. Sierra Stupid Stop. That's not nice. But anyway, we're heading down to Sacramento, the big bad city. We see a lot of doctors all the time, but that isn't our whole life. And Paul, like I said, is a real fighter. He wants to be here. We're not done having fun.
That's right.
He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy. That's another thing you find a lot of up here, but I gotta tell you, I don't trust mushrooms. So I don't pursue mushrooms because they frighten me. But we do have some local experts that do. So it'd be fun to learn a little more about that, because I think the more you can harvest from where you live, the better you are. Oh, a few other things that we do that are fun is we tie-dye. We have a little tie-dye business called Cool Guy Tie-Dye. pretty fun. And I craft soap, cold process soap. So I'd be doing a lot of that. And right now, the very fun thing is, and I'll record this maybe tomorrow when we get home or something, is we live in trailers, which we've lived in trailers on our new property. We bought 10 acres since last May. We had hoped we'd be finished building by now. That hasn't happened yet, but it will. We have a fantastic builder. Finally got our permits released for the bargain price of $13,000 for an 850 square foot home. Crazy, I know. My brother's a home builder in Texas, and he says permits are like $800, and he builds 3,000 and 4,000 square foot homes. Go figure. Anyway, so I will show you a little of how we're living. It's pretty primitive, but we're making it work, even with Paul's medical stuff. And so maybe I'll catch you guys tomorrow with some information on that. All right, so nice talking with you, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.